Hi there. We are having rapid question and answer sessions from our Facebook Got Gout group. My name is Dr. Arinola Dada. I'm a rheumatologist for the last 20 years. Let's talk about these questions. So the first one is from Mickey Mitchell. And he says, I was diagnosed with gout at 72. I've lost 18 pounds. Well done. I changed my diet, and every time I start walking again, I feel the gout attack coming. So first of all, let me say congratulations to you on your weight loss and your commitment to a gout-friendly lifestyle. That is no small feat, so congratulations. That is very impressive. So you mentioned having bunions as well as recent foot discomfort. Well, gout often settles in the joints that are already stressed and injured. And I'm looking here, and the bunions can really create a perfect storm for and a site for where the uric acid deposits. So I would say, one, let's do this. Talk to your doctor and get your blood uric acid level, because you may be having pain because you have got bunions or because of gout. So let's figure it out. So talk to your doctor, find out if your uric acid levels are less than 6. If they are less than 6, then maybe your doctor wants to get some x-rays. There are also ultrasounds and dual energy CT scans that your doctor can do to kind of evaluate if it's actually gout. So first thing is, let's make sure you have the right diagnosis. And then two, if your uric acid levels is high and your doctor confirms gout in your joints, then indeed it may be time, even though you've worked hard on the weight loss, that's going to help your overall health and cardiovascular system anyway and prolong your life. So good job, very impressed. That's a lot of hard work. But to treat your gout, it may make sense that your doctor needs to investigate and see what your uric acid levels is, and then potentially treat you so that you can actually benefit from all the hard work that it took to get your weight down and kind of improve your quality of life. So you're almost there, just a few more stops with your doctor, and I think they can get this taken care of for you. Okay, so next question is by Ginger Greer. So Ginger says, hey, my uric acid was 7 something even days after the flare. I don't have typical symptoms. Could it be something else? So yes, definitely you're right. There's always a thought that, hey, am I missing something else? And what are the other possibilities? So there's 7 things that may make you think that perhaps there are many things that can make you think that perhaps this could be gout. So if you don't have the typical acute redness, swelling, pain, and typically gout wakes you up in the middle of the night, usually a nighttime thing. It feels very sensitive to touch. You can't even put on a shoe, right? Or put in socks. You don't want anybody touching it. Those are typically gout attacks. And so even though your uric acid is 7 point something, our goal is to get it less than 6. So 7 point something is still high for people who've had a history of gout. If you have not had a history of gout, then your doctor may not necessarily want to treat that. So there is no evidence that we should be treating people with a level of 7 if they don't have gout. But if you have gout, then your level needs to be at 6. Diet can help with 10%, but that doesn't get you to 6. And so definitely talking to your doctor about medication options would definitely be helpful to get that uric acid to where you do no longer have attacks. Okay. Our next question is by Lisa Clark. Hey, Lisa. So she's asking a very reasonable question. Is stress a factor in gout? Yes. Yes, difficult to quantify though, right? Because even if we think about, some people can get gout when they're dehydrated, and that's also stress. So you want to minimize that by hydrating more than usual. You want to make sure you prioritize rest and movement, but talk to your doctor about some flare prevention strategies during stressful periods. Like if you know for sure, because it's hard to quantify stress and know how stress affects different people. But if you kind of notice, hey, there are typical times when I feel more stressed and I get a gout attacks, then definitely worth talking to your doctor about. But if your uric acid level is less than 6, it's difficult for stress to cause gout. It can cause other things, but unlikely that your uric acid that is now less than 6 will cause gout attacks. So I think the response to that, very difficult for us to get rid of stress in our lives. But yes, you're right. I think just getting your uric acid less than 6 is going to minimize the likelihood that stress is going to cause a gout attack. Okay, the next one is by Melissa Newbert. Hey, Melissa. So it says, I was recently diagnosed. I stopped soda. Thank you. That's high fructose corn syrup. You stopped it. Excellent. That's going to help you total overall body. So great. You also stopped red meat. You're eating a low purine diet and drinking water. Can I manage this without medication? Depends. Most of the time, the answer, unfortunately, is no. But we want to encourage a healthy lifestyle. We want to encourage avoiding the things that you're doing, because you'll make it more likely that you may be able to get your uric acid level less than 6 with a lower dose of medication, because you're already doing 10%. So then we need less medication to be able to get your uric acid under control. So I think the diet and the medication will get you to where you need to be. There is very good treatment for gout, so no need for you to stress as much. Okay. What is considered a high uric acid number? Well, thank you. This is from Christina Bickhans. Hey, Christina, great question. What's considered a high uric acid number? One would be if you have a known diagnosis of gout. Anything above 6 is a high uric acid number. If you don't have gout, though, then there is really no high uric acid number. I think that off the top of my head, there is no definition, but we know that when you start getting to uric acid levels of 8, it suggests that it may be associated with kind of a metabolic syndrome, which may have other additional risks. So we think about, like diabetes and hypertension, the high uric acid levels, and cholesterol, the high uric acid levels may increase one's risk for inflammation and cardiovascular disease. Okay, so that's the answer to what's considered high. If you have gout, we want it less than 6. If you have bad gout, like tophi, we actually want it less than 5 milligrams per DL for it to really be effective and to basically prevent attacks, prevent joint damage, right? So those are the things that we think about when we're thinking about high uric acid. But thank you, Christina, for that good question. And next one is Bongs Bnt. Okay, hi, Bongs. So your question is, what is the treatment for gout, please? Okay, hey, Bongs. Okay, treatment for gout. So two things to think about when we're treating gout. So one is, yes, we want to think about the fact that people with gout have two issues. One, you have the acute pain. Boom, you're coming with 10 out of 10 pain. Your doctor has to find ways to get rid of the pain. So that's usually steroids, colchicines, medication called Ilaris, and injection to the joint. Those are treating the acute gout attack. When you are pain-free, then your doctor has a second conversation on how do we prevent the next attack. And so those are medications usually that stop your body from making any more uric acid. And then, of course, there's people who have huge lumps of tophi in their body, or they have kidney stones due to uric acid. Then there's a medication called Cristexa that melts away the uric acid. The exciting thing is there are additional medications that allows you to pee out that uric acid. So there's going to be a lot more treatments coming for people with gout. But right now, gout is a very treatable condition. So talk to your doctor. Let's get you some answers. But hopefully that's helpful information for you. And I'm going to go to the next question. Okay, let's see. Next question is, it's from Fantong Usaid. He says, after the pain goes away from a flare in the big toe, what can be done to avoid future flares? So, well, it's part 2, isn't it? So after the flare, then you want to talk to your doctor about, hey, how can I you check with your doctor. 1, your doctor needs to check 1, your uric acid level, and 2, check for the severity. Like, see, do you have lumps of tophi? Do you have any damage in your joints? And then your doctor will recommend some kind of medication, whether it's allopurinol or Uric, to stop you making any more uric acid. Your doctor may also check a genetic test, HLA-B5801, to see, hey, will you be able to tolerate allopurinol? Because some people may have a rash to allopurinol. So there's a genetic test that your doctor can check before putting you on that medicine. Looking at your diet, if you drink a lot of high fructose corn syrup, if you eat a lot of shellfish, then maybe you want to try to minimize that. And if you drink a lot of beer, you want to try to minimize those things, because those things are not good for you and also pro-inflammatory, and also increase your uric acid. And hydrating is helpful. And if you feel you have a gout attack coming, you want to treat it quickly. The quicker you think about it like a fire, the quicker you talk to your doctor about it, the quicker you treat it, the less likely it becomes like an inferno. So hopefully that's helpful, Funtang. Thank you for asking the question. Okay, so next question is from Dinopzi Sameneson. Okay, hi Dinopzi. Okay, so let's see. I've been having pain for more than 10 years. All my joints hurt. What can I do to get it cured? Well, hi Dinopzi. Okay, good question. I'm sorry you've been going through this. And especially for 10 years. For 10 years, honestly, you need a rheumatologist to evaluate you, because if it's gout tends to be more intermittent and less likely chronic. If you're having chronic pain in all your joints, could something else be damaging your joints? Could we be looking like something like rheumatoid arthritis or some other autoimmune or inflammatory process, or maybe even osteoarthritis? So the first thing is you can talk to your doctor or find a rheumatologist. They may want to get some blood tests, check for inflammation, check uric acid, check rheumatoid factor, check things like HLA-B27 genetic markers. Just kind of figure out if there's some inflammation in your system. The next thing your doctor may do is get some x-rays to try to see if there's damage in the joints, because it's really more of a pattern recognition. Some kinds of arthritis can cause a particular pattern, and then we can see, do you have gout? Do you have pseudogout? Do you have rheumatoid arthritis? Ultrasounds are sometimes helpful. So I think there are treatments for gout pain, and you deserve relief. So reach out to your doctor, reach out to your primary care doctor, and let's figure out something that's going to improve your quality of life. Okay, take care. Next one is from Omini Oden. So Omini says, hey, what are the best gout diets? Best diets for gout. Okay, so good question. And big picture. One is on our Facebook Got Gout group. We do have diets that we post to help people. Diets can help reduce your uric acid by 10%, so that's great. You want to avoid, I'll tell you the things that you want to avoid: the red meat, the organ meats, the shellfish, the beer, and the high fructose corn syrup. Things you want to eat more of: fruits and vegetables, generally things, whole grains, legumes, low-fat dairy, lots of water, hydrating with water. If you have to drink alcohol, beer is the most provoking factor, so you want to avoid that. Wine next, and then spirit. So you can have a little bit of a spirit like vodka in your spritzer, but quantity is everything. So everybody's having a drink. You want to have something and you want to keep it infrequent, then you can have a little bit of a spirit in your spritzer, kind of thing. Hopefully that's helpful. Try not to be too strict. But basically, if you're on a plant-based diet, that's really the ideal for lowering uric acid and preventing flares. Okay, next one is from Paul. Paul says, do copper bracelets on your wrist help with gout pain? Well, hi, Paul. You are not alone in wondering about this, and copper bracelets have been studied in arthritis in general, but not specifically in gout, and we do not have solid evidence that it will help with gout pain. So the most important thing with that, because gout, unlike other forms of arthritis, is not just pain, is that there is something foreign in your joint and it is triggering inflammation. So you need to get rid of that something foreign. So that's uric acid. So the most important thing is getting your uric acid. It's called treat to target. So our target is getting your uric acid less than 6 or less than 5 if you have really bad aggressive gout. Making sure you have medication to help you if you have attacks, and then getting on a plan with your doctor to prevent future attacks. Okay, well, thank you guys so much. I look forward to answering questions next time. I think we brought this into 2 parts. My name is Dr. Dada, and yeah, thank you, and I'm looking forward to talking to you next time.